Hello everybody and welcome to Evil Ted Live. This video is from my live stream I do every Monday and Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, your first time watching, don't forget to subscribe. In today's episode, we're going to be making a fantasy blade. This is a blade for a costume I'm building. It's a bit of a secret. We'll be premiering this costume at San Diego Comic-Con. I'm doing this with my friend Alicia Marie. We'll have links for all this below the video. So I have an idea what I'm going to do for the blade, but what's going to be fun about this is I just started today, so I really don't know how I'm going to go about making them. So we're just kind of going on this venture together, and we're just going to make it up as we go. So if you guys are ready to get started, let's do it. There it is. This is the fantasy blade we'll be making. Again, this is going to be a solid blade. I cut these holes up to translate the detail. So my plan, I trace this onto 8mm foam. And I have my box cutter, get my sharpener. I like to call it the lifesaver. Before I found this sharpener, I used to go through so many blades. Now, the idea you could resharpen your blade is wonderful. There you go. Now, when cutting something thick like this, and you have a big square blade, I always like to just do it by hand, kind of go around it like this. There you go. You got it. Perfect. Some people call it a pen knife. I've always known it as an X-ACTO blade. I think X-ACTO name is an actual brand name, but this is great for cutting around tight edges. Now with my template, I was able to get the marks so I could keep the shape and have a registration mark, because this, I made a secondary piece that's going to go on top. This detail piece I'm going to make out of 2mm foam. And I'm going to trace this with a ballpoint pen. And again, for something this thin, I don't want to put pins in it. So I got these 1, 2, 3 blocks, which are awesome. So I just put one here. Put one here. Keep everything in place so when I'm tracing. What I do now, I have this side traced. I just shift the weights over there and there, and I do the rest of it right on the bottom. That's when I realized that on these blades, I'm gonna have this detail on both sides. So I realized I'm gonna have to make 4 of these. I'm gonna go ahead and Dremel these guys out first, divot these in. That's the plan. We're gonna do that first. Then once that's done, the divot details, I'm going to go back in with a stone bit and round these inside edges only. I'm only going to do these inside edges. And then I'm going to glue them on. Once I glue these on, then I'm going to take the Dremel and start softening it around the edges. But I want to glue these on first so they all kind of get married together. So it's going to become one piece when I grind them. With my sanding drum, and I'm going to start grinding this out first. But I'm going to do this on my downdraft table over here. I want to kind of flatten these guys out. There's going to be a little bit of some groove lines, so I'm going to take a sanding stick. I'm going to go back in here because there's a little bit of groove lines in here and I can see them, so I'm going to go back and just kind of sand these guys out a little bit. We got these guys ground in, got a little shaped up. Our next step is I'm going to plot out my bevel lines. Now again, this is what's so great about having the pattern. I take the original blade pattern you guys can see right here and get my 1, 2, 3 blocks. And I'm going to line it up like so, place it. See that? Perfect. Now again, I'm going to just do it right down the middle here. I have my sanding drum. Now I'm going to, the pin lines, what makes them so great is that it gives you something to follow. So when you're grinding, you can kind of see where you need to go. So I like to use this with the grinder, and again, put your mask on, people, when grinding foam. I like using the sanding drum because it removes a lot of the foam quicker, but it still leaves a little bit of the grooves in the foam. So I like to swap this out and replace it with a stone grinding bit. And I'll go back over the same spots. This will smooth it out. All right, now that we have both our blades, got the bevels on the blade parts. I got the detail I engraved here, the recessed detail. Before I apply my 2mm craft detail foam on top of this, these blades, I need armatures in them. So this is going to wiggle around a little bit. So we're going to prevent that from happening. I went out and got some aluminum armature out there on YouTube land. You can get a link for this below the video. With the aluminum armature, what we'll do is, usually when you buy it, it's in a spool. And I'm going to show you a little quick trick on how to straighten this stuff out. Hammer. Now I just kind of like rolled out as much as I can. Kind of straighten it out. And you can see all these little weird bumps in it. What you do is you just take a hammer and tap it. And when you're tapping, you just rotate. But I don't want the armature to go all the way to the tip because I don't mind this having a little bit of a flex because just for once this gets coated with rubber, it's going to be a lot stiffer. So I don't really need to go all the way to the tip. I'm probably going to just go start from here back. Come straight back. Like that. We're going to put a trench. And that's why the Sharpie line is there, so I have something to follow. So what I'm going to do is I went and bought myself, this is the Dremel Router Bit. This is kind of a guide, it's really great. You can have numerous different kinds of bits you can get here. I have this small one, but I believe the width on this will be the diameter I need for the impression from an armature wire. And how this bad boy works, and this guy screws on. And what that allows it to do is I can adjust the depth on this and how deep and shallow I want it. And the cool thing is before you do this, get a piece of scrap foam. Look at that trench I put in there. Now, let's take a piece of armature wire. Wow, that's actually perfect. That is the proper depth. I am really digging this tool. This is great. Again, I used to just go back on the razor blade and cut things, but I like the idea that I'm able to control it and deep enough to actually set it halfway through the foam so you actually be able to hide this armature really easily. Now that we have our trench cut out for our armature, I'm going ahead and just place that guy right inside there and bend as we go. And you know what would be even better is I glue it as we go. I always get super glue on my fingers, so magic trick. Ta-da! All right, now I have the armature wires glued in. The next step I'm going to do, again, this is a torch. Now, I heat seal with this sometimes. Heat gun's great too, but a torch I like for certain things, and for this particular, I'm going to use the torch. Before I start gluing in the 2mm detail, all this stuff I've been grinding and sanding, I can really soften it up by hitting it with a torch. All right, now that this is all heat sealed with a torch, our next step is going to add the detail. Both our detail pieces glued on both sides. And the next step is we're going to Dremel. You can see right now, if you look at this, there's a little bit of an overhang on these guys. This is not important because I was more concerned with this flush fit down here. We're just going to Dremel and mirror these guys together. Now you guys look at this. This looks great on both sides. You can see where I went ahead and kind of Dremeled and mirrored them all together. Give that organic blade look. Now you're thinking, hey Ted, what about this big hole here? Now there's going to be two blades together side by side, so you won't see the inside so much. But I'm not going to do a big quick seal trench in there. It's just not going to look as nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a really thin craft foam detail piece. There. So that'll be my detail piece to cover the armature. Well, there it is, my large foam fantasy blade. This is super cool. Now, you know what you're probably saying? Say, well, Ted, it's not actually done. Aren't you going to seal it and paint it? The answer is yes. I will, and you won't be able to see it until San Diego Comic-Con this year. This is a part of a costume I'm doing with a secret cosplay I'm doing with my friend Alicia Marie. You can check out the links for her below. Definitely when San Diego Comic-Con comes around, definitely follow her on social media because she'll be premiering it first. I let her have that gusto, let her have premiere it first, and I will definitely put up a video on behind the scenes of me making some certain parts of her costumes, but this is part of it already. Again, everybody, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and go to my website, eviltedsmith.com, where if you're a newbie and you're into cosplay, I have numerous patterns in my store, and if you really like what I'm doing and want to help me keep doing it, you can buy patterns and shop through my Amazon links. That always helps. And even better than that, tell your friends. And if you're new to cosplay and you're a little intimidated and looking for a social circle to join, I have a Facebook page called Evil Ted's Foam Fanatics. Join. There's a ton of great builders in there that are super friendly and are willing to help you with cosplay foam building techniques. When you join, you have to answer 2 questions. Answer the 2 questions and I'll let you in. Everybody, thanks for hanging out today and watching this fantasy foam blade, and stay tuned because this is going to get premiered at San Diego Comic-Con, the rest of this costume. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you back next time right here on Evil Ted Live.